Something is happening inside you right now that you cannot feel, cannot see, and have never been taught about in any classroom, any gym, or any conversation with anyone you have ever trusted. Your body is running a biological program so old it predates human language. And most men, without knowing it, are interrupting that program every single day. What happens when you finally let it run? Will change everything you thought you knew about yourself. There is a scene that plays out in gyms everywhere. A man is lifting weights he has lifted 100 times. He is going through the motions. His eyes are somewhere else. His energy is flat. His progress has plateaued for months. He eats right. He sleeps enough. He cannot understand why he feels like a machine running at 60% capacity. He has never once connected his stagnation to the one habit nobody in that gym will ever discuss openly. Vital force is not a spiritual concept invented by ancient monks. It is a biological reality understood by endocrinologists, neurologists, and performance scientists who simply use different language. Your body's capacity to produce testosterone, maintain dopamine baseline, regulate cortisol, and sustain neurological coherence is directly influenced by how frequently you engage in the biological cycle of release and depletion. This is not controversial. This is measurable. The first upgrade begins at the hormonal level. Luteinizing hormone, the signal your brain sends to instruct testosterone production, begins to increase within days of retention. Your pituitary gland, no longer receiving the neurological signal that reproduction has been attempted, begins sending stronger production commands. The factory gets busier, the output increases, and the man running on that output begins to feel a shift in his baseline energy that sleep and protein alone could never produce. This is why retained men describe feeling a kind of aliveness that they struggle to articulate. It is not excitement. Excitement is temporary and surface level. This is something deeper, a hum of readiness, a biological fullness, a sense that the body is charged and capable and oriented toward something. That feeling is not psychological. It is hormonal. It is the body doing exactly what it was designed to do when its vital resources are preserved. The second upgrade occurs in the neurological architecture of motivation. Your brain's mesolimbic pathway, the circuit responsible for drive, ambition, and goal-directed behavior, runs on dopamine. And dopamine, in the modern man's brain, has been systematically hijacked. Not by drugs, by the constant availability of artificial release. Every time you trigger that release artificially and cheaply, you lower the sensitivity of your dopamine receptors to natural reward. The world starts feeling gray, meaningless. Effortless things feel like mountains. Retention forces a neurological detox. In the first week, you may feel the resistance physically, restlessness, agitation, and almost gravitational pull back toward the familiar habit. This is your dopamine system in withdrawal from its artificial stimulus. But on the other side of that resistance is a brain that can feel genuine reward again. A book becomes interesting. A conversation becomes engaging. Your own goals start generating the pull they were always supposed to generate. The third upgrade is systemic, and it touches everything: your immune function, your inflammatory markers, your sleep architecture, your cognitive clarity. Zinc, which is heavily concentrated in seminal fluid, is also a critical cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the human body. When you preserve that resource, those enzymatic processes run more efficiently. Your recovery improves, your focus sharpens. Your body's capacity to repair, build, and defend itself increases measurably. This is why men who have practiced retention for 30 days or more consistently report improvements that span every area of life simultaneously. Their workouts improve, their thinking clears, their social confidence increases, their creativity returns. They mistake this for coincidence or placebo until they understand that all of these systems share the same biological upstream. And when that upstream is preserved, everything downstream flows stronger. Consider what you have been running on. Consider the version of yourself that has been functioning on depleted hormones, a hijacked dopamine system, and recurring cycles of peak and crash. That version has been remarkable. Has accomplished things, connected with people, built something from nothing. Imagine what that same version accomplishes when the biological engine is finally running at full capacity. That is not a fantasy. That is biology operating without interference. The upgrade to your physical presence is perhaps the most immediately visible shift. Testosterone and DHT influence collagen synthesis, muscle protein synthesis, sebaceous gland function, and bone density. These are not vanity metrics. They are the physical expression of your hormonal health. When your androgens are optimized and your system is not cycling through constant depletion, the physical body reflects it. You look more awake, more vital, more structurally present in your own skin. There is a quality that some men carry that is impossible to buy, impossible to fake, and unmistakable when you encounter it in real life. It is the quality of a man who is comfortable being still, who does not fidget, does not deflect, does not fill silence with noise. Who can hold a moment without needing to escape it? That stillness is neurological. It is the stillness of a nervous system that is regulated, resourced, and not running on fumes. Retention builds that stillness from the inside out. Your voice deepens. Not dramatically, not overnight, but the edge of anxiety that lives in the vocal cords of a depleted man begins to smooth out. You speak from a lower center. You pause more naturally. Your sentences become shorter and more direct. Because you are no longer trying to verbally convince anyone of your value, you are simply expressing it. An expression from a place of fullness sounds completely different from performance from a place of emptiness. Here is something the fitness industry will never tell you because there is no supplement to sell you for it. The single highest leverage change a man can make to his hormonal environment costs nothing, requires no equipment, and can begin this second. It is simply the decision to preserve what the body generates instead of repeatedly flushing it. Every other optimization, sleep, training, nutrition, cold exposure, amplifies a foundation. This is the foundation. The men who discover this later in life carry a particular kind of grief. Not dramatic grief, quiet grief. The grief of realizing that the fatigue they normalized, the flatness they accepted, the drive that slowly disappeared, none of it was inevitable. It was a consequence of a habit so normalized that questioning it never occurred to them. That grief, when it comes, is also a door. What you do at that door is the question. You will be tested, not by external circumstances, but by your own biology. Around day 10, around day 21, your body will make a compelling argument for returning to the familiar pattern. That argument will feel urgent and reasonable and almost logical. In that moment, you will need to remember that the feeling is temporary, and the damage of yielding is cumulative. Every time you hold the line moves forward. The men who have walked this path before you describe a moment, usually somewhere between week 3 and week 6, where something simply settles. The restlessness quiets. The urgency fades. A steady, warm, capable energy takes its place. Not the frantic energy of stimulation, the grounded energy of a man who has found his own center and is no longer looking for it in external sources. That moment is real. It is waiting for you. Your relationships will shift, not because you become a different person, but because the people around you begin to relate to you differently. Colleagues become more receptive. Friends seek your counsel. The dynamic in social spaces tilts almost imperceptibly but consistently in your direction. This is not you imagining it. This is people responding to the biological signals of a man whose nervous system is regulated, whose androgens are optimized, and whose presence carries genuine gravity. The woman who matters in your life, whether she exists now or you are building toward her, she will feel this shift before she can name it. Something in her ancient biology will register the change in your hormonal signature, your vocal quality, your stillness, your gaze. She will find herself more drawn, more respectful, more genuinely interested. Not because you have performed differently, but because you have become differently. That distinction is everything. None of this is about becoming someone you are not. This is about removing the interference patterns that have been running between you and the man you were designed to be. Every habit that drains your vital force is an interference pattern. Every time you resist that habit, you clear the signal. And as the signal clears, the real transmission, the one your biology has been trying to broadcast your entire life, begins to come through. What would your life look like if you had been operating at full biological capacity for the last 5 years? What might you have built? What relationships might have developed differently? What version of you might be standing in front of the mirror right now? That question is not meant to make you grieve the past. It is meant to clarify the urgency of the present. You cannot get those years back, but starting today, you can stop letting them accumulate. The upgrades are real, the science is settled. The only remaining variable is you, your willingness to sit with temporary discomfort in exchange for permanent transformation. Your capacity to choose the long game over the short one. Your courage to become unfamiliar to yourself in the best possible way. That kind of courage is not common. But then again, the man you are becoming is not common either. Think of a moment in your life when you chose discipline over comfort and felt the reward compound over weeks and months. Remember how it felt to look back at that choice and know, without any doubt, that it was the right one. This is that choice. Multiplied by biology. Multiplied by every system in your body that has been waiting for you to give it the conditions to flourish. The man on the other side of 30 days of preservation is not a stranger. He is you, minus the depletion, minus the fog, minus the quiet resignation that has lived in your chest so long you stopped noticing it. He is the version of you that younger you always imagined becoming. He is closer than you think. If this spoke to something real in you today, please like this video and help it reach the man who needs it most. Share it without explanation. Subscribe for more of this. And if it genuinely moved you, hit the thanks button. That small gesture carries more meaning than you know. You are not alone in this, and the best chapters of your life are still unwritten.